Hello! Welcome to a video about some essential things that you could bring with you on your next trip with your toddler. We have a 19-month-old toddler here that we brought on our first flight just several weeks ago. And I would just want to shed some insight on some things that we thought were helpful to have with us on the trip. Some things are pretty common sense, whereas some other things I feel like we didn't know until we actually saw it put to use. So here are 5 things plus a couple of other ones that we thought were important. Now, number 1 are snacks. Snacks are very important in terms of a food source and a source of entertainment to keep your toddler or baby engaged. It was actually very important to help equalize pressure in the ears during takeoff and landing for the plane. We took a 2.5-hour flight. During takeoff, we actually gave our baby some applesauce and some cheese that she can munch on so as to ensure that she could swallow. Other people might bring in some beverages such as juice or milk or just even plainly water. We also brought a snack tray where you push a button and it actually changes different. It's like a roulette. So that was kind of fun because Bevy needed to problem solve. That helped to keep her entertained quite a lot in the terminal. Now the second item, which was kind of an interesting one, was actually a portable fan. Now we did go on our travel during the summer, so we usually would bring a fan to help cool us down in the heat. It was also a toy that our daughter liked to play with. It's just a tiny little handheld fan, but what it actually was very helpful for was cooling down foods. And so a lot of times when we go and eat food outside, the food would come piping hot right off the plate. And we would try to share some of this food with her, but we would have to wait a lot of time. What ended up helping was cutting up the food into bite-sized pieces, cooling them down using the fan, and that only took about 30 seconds for most food items. Now I'll be leaving a link down below for some of the items just so you guys can see. It might not be the exact same ones because possibly if it's an item that we bought on Temu, it could be overtaken by different brands or just out of stock. Now the third item that we brought, which I thought was very helpful, was actually a body pillow. Now this specific body pillow you see is actually the one that my wife used as a pregnancy pillow when she was still pregnant. We just thought it would be a helpful item to have so that we can lean our backs on it and just make our flight a little bit more comfortable. What ended up happening was that Bevy fell asleep during the first hour of the flight. And during takeoff, you're not supposed to just take off the seatbelt and let them lie on the seat. So she was able to lean her head on this pillow and stay pretty comfortable through her flight. Now the fourth item that I'll mention here is a portable high chair. Now my wife and I typically like to use a portable high chair when we go out to restaurants just because that way we can ensure that it's clean right off the bat and we can sit our toddler in there pretty quickly, and ours comes actually with a little tray. Are you okay? All right. You just gotta play with it like that. So the one that we have in particular actually folds up pretty nicely. We were able to stow it away with our stroller on the flight, so there was no additional baggage fees. If you didn't know already, you can actually push your strollers up to the gate where you can check your stroller in at the gate just in case you wanted it with you, whether for your baby or your toddler, so that they could be pushed all the way instead of having to carry them throughout the whole time. Now you do want to get a case for your stroller just in case you didn't want to get it dirtied or potentially damaged. All right, number 5. Toys or other stationery. This we found to be a good way to entertain Bevy. So we did bring some of her toys, especially ones that she hasn't seen in a couple of months. We've kind of hidden some toys away from her leading up to several months of the trip. We also brought some markers and crayons, some stickers, including some labels that she's able to just play with and kind of stick it on to her face or stick it on to different surfaces. And these are easy to peel off, so you don't have to worry about making a mess. We also brought some storybooks so that she's able to read and be engaged. I think we actually might not have had to use them a whole lot, so maybe just bring a few of your child's favorite or just ones that you think that they'll find entertaining. So I know I mentioned that I was going to talk about just 5, but number 6 is going to just include some basic essentials that I think are pretty important depending on your travel situation. So coming number 6, I would drop an honorable mention for a portable crib such as a pack and play, and definitely a car seat. So our baby does not sleep with us in the bed. She usually sleeps on her own in a crib, and the pack and play was actually very helpful. We were able to borrow this from a friend who lived at our destination. We were able to get her to sleep through most of the night in this crib. It also came in very handy when we needed to childproof the Airbnb, and just was kind of a playpen for her to hang around in while we were preparing the rest of the apartment. A car seat would actually be very important if you plan to drive at your destination. Some parents will bring it because you can actually bring it onto the plane if it's FAA approved. We decided we wanted to try to pack as light as possible, so we also borrowed one from our friend at the destinations. You can rent a car seat from most car rentals. We checked the prices for Avis. It would have been about an additional $12 a day. So certainly depending on the economics of it, you can decide whether or not you want to bring your own car seat or to rent one, or definitely, if possible, to borrow one. Well, that's it for the video today. Hopefully these tips helped you if you are considering traveling with a toddler or a baby in the near future. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share with any friends or family who might be traveling with a toddler soon. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon.